Good morning everybody and welcome to Vinyasa, and our focus is on our throat chakra. And no, that is not me, that is the lovely Ali laying down who's going to do our demonstration Vinyasa class today. So welcome Ali.
Well, hello everyone.
So we've started in what's known as a supported fish pose, where we've got a blanket or a pillow underneath the shoulders, and the shoulder blades are coming up and over. So you can support through the head, or like Ali has, an extra blanket underneath the buttocks. And we open the palms up so that we're allowing a rotation of the upper arms. And we're just going to take a few minutes here. So once you're in that posture, you might choose to pause for a moment. I generally like to lay here for around 5 minutes to begin a practice. And just, you can have the bent knee position if you're finding it's too intense on the lower back. So we'll take a few moments here just to find our yogic breath, and to just lift slightly through that chin. So we're really opening through the throat and across the collarbones. The throat chakra encompasses the shoulders, the chin, the lips, the tongue, and also through to the ears. So lots of lengthening across the chest today. Good. And while we're laying here, we're going to invite a ujjayi, pranayama, which is known as the ocean breath. So it's an inhalation through the nose, a deeper exhalation through the back of the throat, and then out through the nose. And it's known as the ocean breath, so it sounds like the waves coming in. A slight groan as you lengthen through the exhalation breath. So we'll take 3 more rounds, or pause and stay here for another few minutes. The mindful part is to come out of this posture just to protect the neck. So we bend through the knees, turn the palms over, and just roll to one side or gently press up, whatever feels good for you. Just moving all your props to the top of your mat. And then we'll come into a comfortable kneeling position facing forward. Good. Rotate the shoulders back and down, and just bring the fingertips down towards the earth. Good. Chin comes to chest. And then just take a moment to lengthen and open up through the front of the throat as you roll the shoulder blades back, and even bring some weight into the fingers back towards the toes. Beautiful. Depending on your flexibility, you could come to the flat palm and gently lift the knees up, bringing some weight into the ankles and really opening up to a beautiful supported mini bend back. Beautiful. Coming back forward, and we'll take a child pose here with the knees together. So some of you might need to support the forehead, and keep a nice active fingers, upper arms, allowing that breath to come all the way back through the spine as we bring the bottom back towards the heels. Good. Enjoying one further breath here, and then we'll return to the kneeling position. We're going to interlace the hands underneath the chin and bring the elbows to touch as though you would in a hot yoga practice to begin. Good. So we gently raise the elbows up on an inhale, and we deep breathe through that nose. Tilt the chin back as you exhale through the mouth. Bring the elbows and palms back to touch. Beautiful. Keep continuing to do this in your own time. Filling the lungs all the way up, tilting that chin back as you bring the palms and elbows back to touch, releasing deeply through the mouth. We'll do that for 5 more times. And releasing, beautiful. If kneeling is too uncomfortable, come onto the bottom with the legs out in front or cross-legged. Good. again, you could continue to do this for a minute if you preferred. But we'll do one more round. And then release. Good. We're going to return to bring those fingers back beside the hips, fingertips coming down, little rotation of the shoulders. Chin comes to chest. And again, we'll bring the weight back into the palms if we're able to. Little raise of the knees, pressed open through that chest. Good. One more breath here. And again, we'll take it forward to the balasana, but the extended. So big toes touch, knees nice and wide. Spread through those fingers. And taking 5 enjoyable breaths here. Just a little turn of the head, massage that third eye, just to release any tension through the neck. Good. Gently begin to walk the hands to the left-hand side, releasing through the side body. Good. Again, if that forehead doesn't meet the earth, we bring a block or a pillow underneath for support. And we'll take that right hand on top of the left hand to intensify and lengthen that stretch just a little bit further. Good. One deep breath in. Move through the front position, then over to the right on the exhale. Beautiful. Nice active fingers pressing that bottom back, and then bring the left hand on top of the right. Good. Releasing through that side body. Beautiful. Return back to the front balasana for one final breath. Good. And as you walk the hands back, I'll get Ali to face the wall so we're looking at her back, kneeling. We're going to come into a monkey grip through the hands. So just binding
Like that?
just through the fingers to begin with. Good. Drawing the hands down towards the toes, really squeezing those shoulder blades back. And then we're going to monkey grip the fingers so that they're cupping into each other. Good. Gentle, just drawing of those wrists and elbows away. And lovely. So staying here, or you can hold opposite elbows. Good. Few breaths, and neck can stay neutral or keep it tucked wherever feels comfortable for you. And depending on your flexibility, you could come into the prayer mudra behind the back, bringing one palm up and then the other. Taking a moment here to press the thumbs and palms together. Good. One more breath. Then we'll come back to face front position, and we're going to take a side stretch, but we'll come cross-legged. Good. Left hand fingertips touch the earth straight off from the hip. We'll reach up tall with that right hand. Take a breath first in the top position, then reach over to the side. The upper arm comes towards the ear. And just lower the gaze down towards the floor. Press through that right sit bone. Good. Lovely. On your next inhale, bring both hands up in front, up to the top, and then come over to your right. Good. You can have tall fingers or the flat palm on the earth. Upper arm comes towards the ear as you slowly release to the side stretch. Good. Allowing a softening of that right elbow. Good. One more breath. Beautiful. Reach back up and interlace both fingers above the head, drawing up nice and tall here. Take the gaze up towards the fingers, and then soften through the shoulders while you rotate the palms. And then press back up, gaze is forward. We'll take one final linking of the hands behind the lower back, and then open through that chest. Good. One deep breath here. Chin comes to chest, and you surrender forward to a forward fold. And you can continue to keep that bind or release the hands in front of the knees when you're ready. Beautiful, Ali. You're a great demo.
Feels weird.
Good. Let's rotate and come up to all fours, taking a all fours position. Knees are in line with the hips and hands are coming underneath the shoulders. Taking a few rounds of cat-cow in your own time. Good, really tucking through that chin and then gazing forward as you release to cow. Good. Let's begin to tuck through the toes here, engaging through the feet, continuing in your cat-cow. Lovely. And then we'll release one final time to the neutral spine and take it into turbo dog. We're just going to reach those knees just off the ground. It can be as high or as low as you prefer. Awareness to the belly and begin to find that yogic breath as the body warms. And then we'll press some weight into the heels as we take it into a crouching position. Good. Activating through those forearms. Just tucking that chin ever so slightly. Good, and then reaching the hips up nice and high to the down dog. Begin to pedal through the feet. Good. Take the gaze to the front hands, looking towards the fingers, and I want you to come tall on both toes. A little weight into a high plank and then press the heels back, sinking the heels, lift those hips and tuck that chin, so coming into a deep down dog. So keep lifting those hips up. Beautiful. Beautiful. Just take a little turn of the head, yes and no, looking under both armpits. And then we're going to keep the hands planted and walk slowly towards the front fingers until you finally need to lift those palms if needed into a deep forward fold. We'll bind between the heels, so wrap those hands around, take a deep bend of the knees if you need, and then bring the forehead towards the knees. So you can take any bind here that you prefer, maybe a toe bind or palms down to the ground. You want to really lengthen through the back of the legs and shift a bit of weight into the toes now. Beautiful. Good. Find a half lift by bringing the hands to the fingertips to the floor or to the shins, looking forward, and then soften back to the forward fold. Good. We'll slowly raise up to standing, nice and slowly allow those fingertips to become heavy, and then reach up into the sky, stretching and lengthening through the hands. Come through heart center, and we'll set up for our sun salutation, so we find our way to the top of the mat. Allow a bit of length underneath the arms in Tadasana, grounding down through the 10 points of the toes, through the heels. And we'll take 2 cleansing breaths together. Inhale in to soften, exhale. Beautiful. One more breath. And release. So sun salutation A, we reach up nice and high through the hands. Inhale. Deep exhale to find a forward fold. Good. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands and we'll step back to plank. You can come via all fours if you need. And just hold plank here for a moment, shifting a bit of weight through the toes so you're coming forward and back. Little rock. Beautiful. Good. We'll come tall on the toes, lower to the knees. We'll take modified chaturanga to begin, coming down chin and chest. Good. Nice low cobra, rotate through the back. Lower all the way back to the belly. Good. Tuck the toes, press up into plank and hold here for a moment. Then pressing up and walking the feet forward as you come to down dog. Good, shortening that distance. Beautiful. 3 deep breaths here, reconnecting. Good, we'll take a step or float to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Invite the new breath, half lift, exhale, release, and roll up or sweep the hands all the way up into standing. Hands come through Prem Mudra. Good. And release down. So the first version was modified. We'll come to a slightly more energetic Sun salutation with the float back and float forward. So take one cleansing breath and release. Beautiful. Sweep those hands up nice and high. Gather the air. Exhale, release to the forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, bend the knees, float back to plank if you prefer. Good, strong. Lower down, full chaturanga, where you weight come down onto the belly if needed or not. Good, tuck through the toes, and if you can see, Ali's legs are slightly off the ground. We're going to flip up and back through the down dog. Good. 3 breaths here. Good. We gaze forward as we step, float or hop to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Half lift. Exhale, release. Sweep those hands all the way up. And hands come through heart center. Close through the eyes. Soften here for a moment. Take a drink if you need. Yeah, adjust the pants. It's my perfect time. We're going to come through a warrior 2 sequence now. So ensuring there's nothing on your mat. You're forward on your mat. Find Tadasana stance when you're ready. Good. We'll take a stalk pose on the left. So we reach up into stalk pose, holding here. Set the drishti gaze. As you sweep the hands back, come to crescent lunge. Take a deep step back. Good. Sweep the hands up. The front knee is in alignment with the ankle. Good. Transition to warrior 2. We drop the back left foot. Good. Checking through the back arm and the front arm so they're nice and even. We're not hunching through the shoulders. Good. Notice how Ali's front foot, if it was tracking back from the heel, is aligned with the arch of the back foot. Good. We'll find reverse warrior. The left hand sweeps down the back of the leg. Right hand comes up. Can even tuck behind the lower back. Good. Deep inhale back in. Revert, come back to warrior 2. Right forearm comes down to the thigh. And we reach tall to begin with. Pressing through the left foot. And then take that top hand across. Beautiful. Transition the top hand down so it comes in line with the right foot. All the way down to the ground. Frame that front foot. Turn the back toe. Coming into a nice lunge position. Good. Sweep back up into crescent lunge. Beautiful. Good. We're going to transition back to the Tadasana stance. So if you need to bring the hands back to frame that front foot or step forward, lower the hands back beside the body. Good. Coming to the opposite side. Take a deep inhale in, lift through the right foot, stalk pose. Deep step back into crescent lunge. So high on the back foot, crescent lunge. Good. Soften into that front knee. Really engage through that back glute and thigh to lift that back leg. Beautiful. Dropping that right foot, come to warrior 2. Good. Check in with the back hand. Soften through the shoulders. Good. Reverse warrior, turn the front palm, reaching up. Good.
Oh, this is worse.
Good. Just tilt that chin back a little bit more. Beautiful. Weight is in that front foot. Transition back, warrior 2. Forearm comes to the thigh. We reach tall to begin with. And then bring that upper arm towards the ear. Really pressing deeply through that right foot. Good. Bring the top hand down. We frame the front foot. Turn the back toe. Good. Reach up into crescent lunge. Again, we can frame that front foot or step forward. Beautiful. And then rest the hands at heart center into Tadasana. Good. We're going to step back with the right foot facing forward into Pasrita Padanasana, wide. And the toes are tracking inwards. Hands come to the hips. I just want you to feel a bit of weight into the toes, into the heels here. And then come out aeroplane arms. So we come halfway down. Good. Tuck that chin just slightly so we soften through the head and lower the hands down all the way to the floor. Good. The crown of the head comes down. We can walk those hands back a little bit towards the bottom, turning the palms up or keeping the palms on the ground depending how you feel supported. Good. Enjoying the weight into the toes. Beautiful. One more breath here and we'll return the palms back under the shoulders. Take a half lift so you look forward, and then we'll come to a toe bind. So we bind with pointer and thumb and keep that squareness through the shoulders. And we draw up now. So we're drawing. So just keep that chin tucked. Yep, crown of the head comes down and we're pulling. It's a push-pull action, pressing through the toes, drawing up. That looks great, Ellie. Keeping that weight here. One more breath. We'll bring the hands back under the face. Take that half lift, bring a bit of weight in. And our final position will bind behind the lower back. We allow the crown of the head to come down. Good. So either keep the hands towards the lower back or extending even further like Ali is able to, drawing those fingers strong through the arms. Good. 2 more breaths here. Lovely. Slowly release the bind. The hands come under the face. We're going to take that half lift, look forward, and then heel toe the feet into a Malasana squat. Coming on down and remembering it's either a flat foot position or you can come tall on the toes. Elbows are pressing against the inner thighs. You can bring a support under the lower bottom through a block or bolster if needed. One more breath. And just switch those hands so they come behind to the bottom and sink down onto the bottom. We'll turn sideways. Good, so that the legs are coming out. Good, shift that fleshy goodness, sitting nice and tall. Reach up and we'll take a forward fold when you're ready. So many options within the bind, either through the side of the feet, through a toe bind, or through the ankles or shins. We want to keep pressing the long legs into the mat as we soften to that forward fold. Beautiful. One more breath and we roll up nice and slowly. And bring the hands so that they come beside the hips and we're sitting tall through the spine. So just shift the hands maybe 1 hand distance back, point the toes forward. Good, and open up to a nice up plank. Good, one more breath. Tuck the chin, lower the bottom, and again we'll take it forward to a forward fold. Beautiful. I find by switching from the up plank to the forward fold, you're able to find a little bit more length. Good. One more breath. And we'll come to do that one more time. So sliding back up. Making sure the fingers are facing forward, either staying in the low position or pressing up onto the heels. Really lengthening through the throat and the front of the body. Good. Final time, lower back down onto the bottom. Good. Just shift the fleshy goodness this time. So we really take a deep Dandasana. Reach tall and maybe even lock through those thumbs. Good. Exhale as you breathe and reach forward. This will be our final forward fold here. We'll take 3 breaths. So taking any position that you need. Good. 2 more breaths here. As you roll back up, we'll bring the palms beside the hips. Bend through the knees, and we're going to windshield wipe the knees side to side. So if the big toes are touching, we'll notice the knees come over a little bit further. Maybe separating the feet a little wider and just noticing the difference on either side, pausing. Good. Lovely. As you come back up this time, we're going to roll down onto the back, drawing the knees into the chest, but make sure you're at the top of your mat. giving yourself some room here.
Some sanding.
That's okay. Draw those knees up into the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug and a gentle rock of the lower lumbar. And we're going to keep those big toes to touch. Separate the knees in a reverse child pose. So just pointing the toes. Good. Just cupping just below the kneecap. Beautiful. 2 more breaths here. Good. Placing the soles of the feet down onto the ground. We'll bring the palms beside the hips, setting up for bridge pose. So most people bring the heels sometimes a little bit too far away from the bottom. Ali sets it up very nicely here. The palms are pressing down. And we open through that chin, we're lengthening through the front of the body. And we're going to roll back down nice and slowly, 1 vertebra at a time. And it's nice to set that foundation, take any adjustment that you need through the feet. And then as you roll back up, we'll find a little bit more length through the front body. A general engagement through the inner thighs and maybe a rotation underwards of the shoulder blades so you can come to the bind behind the lower back. Good. Keep working through that front body. Beautiful, lifting those hips, pressing evenly through the feet. Good. You can support the lower back by bringing the palms underneath the lower back. Good. Bringing those elbows in and even coming tall on the toes here. Good, finding a little bit more length. So more on the lower back, Ali, than the bottom. Yeah, good.
She doesn't expect much, does she?
Good. Come down back to the soles of the feet and then rotate those shoulders back. Draw the knees into the chest. Lucky you're super flexible. Great model. And then we'll come into reverse Baddha Konasana. The soles of the feet come down to the ground. We allow the knees to come out nice and wide. And also opening out. So find some room underneath those armpits. Separate the hands. Good. Closing down through the eyes here. Maybe just a gentle little flap of the knees just to soften the inner thigh. And then come to stillness. Option is to create that little halo above the head by holding opposite elbows. Really breathing through the side body. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And gently bring those hands back beside the hips. Good, close the knees up and bring the feet off the ground into tabletop position. We're going to come into a double leg supine twist. So we'll open that right palm out straight off the shoulder. Come over onto the side body. Good, yeah, adjust on the mat as you need. Good, when you're ready, you can reach up with the top left hand. And gently follow that left hand with the gaze. We breathe mindfully through the left side body here. Remembering if that left shoulder's not meeting the earth, we can bring that hand onto the top hip. Other hand, yep. Yeah, your left hand.
I don't like that.
Yeah, that's all right, you stay there. Onto the hip, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's good. There's so many options in this position. Good. One last breath. We'll bring the palms back so they're supporting near the hips. Lift the top leg. Wiggle over so you're on your right side of the mat and then set that foundation. Opening back up. Rolling over to the side. Reaching open through the right arm. and following it with the gaze. Good. 2 more final big deep breaths here into that right rib cage, down into the hip. Allowing the palms to come to support the body as you roll over and find your final pose of Shavasana. Legs coming out nice and wide, and just have a separation of the feet. We allow the toes just to fall to the side. And beginning from the toes, just have a little point inflection through the feet. A softening through the back of the legs, maybe lifting one leg up and then the other. Good. Gentle little wiggle of the hips, so we allow the lower back to soften. Just find some room underneath the armpits so that you're separating the hands just a little bit off. Hunch up through those shoulders towards the ears and then bring the shoulder blades back and down. You can curl the fingers into fists just for a moment and then release. A wettening or softening of the jaw through the lips. Squeezing closed of the eyes and then release the lids shut. And because we're opening through that throat, just lift that chin ever so slightly. Bringing that internal gaze to the third eye between the brow. And giving yourself permission here to rest, to relax. We'll leave you here now. Thank Ali so much for joining us.
I never want to see it.
Namaste.